of mine. Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. See, we can go where we want to, place where they will.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I know I only have a few viewers, but I hope you'll take what I have to say into account, because I've been gaming since I was 7. I'm 22 years old now. And I've been a Fallout fan pretty much ever since I got my Xbox, which was 2007. I recently got done playing Fallout 4. I've logged 53 hours and about 24 minutes into the game. So you can say that I've completed about 95%, I would say, of the side missions and all of the story missions. There's as many as I could for each faction. I'll touch on that later. And I just kind of want to give you my impression of it. This may be a review. I don't really know about that. But anyway, there's a couple of things that I liked about it. One was the graphics. They definitely upgraded the graphics from Fallout New Vegas. Added some Skyrim things into that, which I liked. I liked the radiation storms that swept through. It's an interesting addition to the game. And the character movement seemed very natural to me. So that was a good point. Second point was weapon and armor modding. This is a very interesting thing to add. And overall, I liked it. It could have been more. It could have been create your own armor and modding it, rather than just modding it. But maybe someone will create a mod so you can do that. Third is the ability to have mods on the Xbox One and the PS4. It's a very big thing. I love mods, especially for games like Oblivion and Skyrim. Those are great. Fourth thing was power armor. I thought it was a really interesting choice to change how you equipped power armor and what it did for you. I always thought it was kind of weird in the original game, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, how power armor was just kind of... It was supposed to be this huge, hulking thing, but it was just equipped like normal armor, and you could run around and look like it was normal armor. So I really liked how they did actual suits of armor that you had to get into and get out, and it was really big, and it was pretty cool. And it was cool that they used like a fusion core, everything to power it. The only complaints I have about it though is during my my travels through the game, I came across about 10 suits of power armor. Not all of them were complete, but still I came across 10 suits and I have them all lined up in my settlement. And that just seemed a little excessive to me. You revamp the power armor system, and then you put 10 suits of power armor out in the world just for you to find. Like, when are you gonna do with 10? You can't have 10 companions following you around. So you're stuck using one. You're gonna use one suit of power armor throughout the whole game. And it's too much of a hassle to go back and, get into a different suit of power armor each time like something on yours breaks. I mean, you can't even find all the pieces for these power armors. I mean, I've looked. I have 3 uncompleted sets of power armor just because I can't find the parts for them. And it just seems really stupid to me. And fusion cores, at first, yeah, they're rare. You're happy when you find one in the basement of a hospital or a robotics center, but by the end of the game, I had 60 something fusion cores, and I wasn't about to run out anytime soon. Because it took me like 20 minutes, 30 minutes of gameplay for me to use up one core. So I ended up using it. I sold a bunch of them just to get some more caps. and I still had enough to finish the game. And I was only like halfway through at that point. I had like 60 fusion cores. If you want to make power armor unique like that, you can't have 10 suits, and you can't have, 60 power cores. You can't sell fusion cores in stores. That's terrible. That's horrible. Why would you do that? Sure, they're expensive as shit, but I mean, you can buy them. They're not unique when you can buy them in a store. And finally, my fourth good point about the game, power armor is still, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the change. So it's a good thing. The final good thing was the missions. I felt like there was enough. It was plentiful. There's enough missions and side missions, story and side missions, to leave you feeling satisfied. Obviously, it took me 53 hours to complete the game, and the entire time I was doing quests. Some of them, yes, were repetitive, never-ending quests, but they're still interesting. You still have to go somewhere and do stuff. So I like the quests a lot. Now we're getting into the bad things about the game. And I know people have posted videos, how to farm unlimited everything and how to get unlimited caps, and I don't play with glitches. I don't do those things. I prefer to have a straight up experience to my game. And something I ran across a lot was I kept running out of resources. I kept running out of junk. That's something else I really liked. Sorry, 5 things that I liked about the game. How they changed junk into actually useful components. That was really cool, because before, just tin cans everywhere. It's like, what do I want to do with these tin cans? But now tin cans are useful. That was really cool. However, I constantly, by the end of the game, as I was trying to upgrade my power armor suit, my Brotherhood of Steel power armor, I kept running out of adhesive and aluminum. And I understand, and it was really cool that it was, limited, but it seemed like aluminum and adhesive were more rare than fusion cores, which seemed totally off to me. Because you'd think a society would produce more aluminum and duct tape than they would, like fusion cores. And for a fact, I can go down to, like Ace Hardware and buy like a bajillion rolls of duct tape, but I have to join the military to get access to, nuclear fission cores. So that just seemed a little odd to me. It seemed like that was something that they did, but then they just kind of didn't do anything else. So you had this like dichotomy of, I have 60 fusion cores, but I only have like 3 adhesive. So that was weird. I kept running out of resources for pretty much anything except for wood and steel. But whatever. Building your settlements, they didn't really do a lot. They're kind of like, ooh, yeah, cool. Look at the settlement. So, settlements. Sorry about that. I forgot I had food on the stove. Anyway, settlements. To me, they seemed, it was a cool aesthetic thing to do. You build up your city, build defenses, defend it from things. I spent 12 hours of my 53-hour gameplay just focused entirely on settlements. And what I found was that while it was cool to, build these things and build up certain things and build these really high buildings, it didn't really do anything. There was no real reward for doing the settlements. And the settlement missions were just repetitive. Either you get it from a settler, or you get it from Radio Freedom, or you'd get it from Preston. They're all just the same. Go over here, kill some raiders. Go over here, kill some ghouls. Go over here, liberate this farm and build a recruitment beacon. By the end I had like 15 settlements, and I just kind of didn't want to do anything with them. Sure, I built the first couple ones that you get, but then it was like, what's the point? And my main settlement never got attacked. That might have been because I just I maxed out the defense points on the settlement. So I think settlement defense is directly related to how high your settlement defense is. So my main one never got attacked by any of the things that they said it would be attacked by. I never had to go defend Sanctuary Hills from super mutants or raiders or whatever, because it just never got attacked. And then when I went to go defend places that were being attacked, it was just lacking, because it didn't feel important. You didn't have any feelings for these people that were being attacked. Their names were settlers. It was... So, the settlement building was kind of a mixed bag. I liked the direction they were going. I just felt like they could have done more with it. Could have refined it a little bit. So I'm hoping in Fallout 5, if they ever come out with that, or the next Elder Scrolls, that they have a more advanced settlement building and armor modding thing going on. The next thing I didn't like, there won't be any spoilers. Like mission spoilers, or I'll try to. Maybe some side missions, but whatever. Factions. There's different factions. By this point, that there's the Brotherhood of Steel and the Minutemen and the Institute. That's where that's what they advertise. And there's a couple other factions that I'm not going to get into, just because they're spoilers. One of them is a pretty big spoiler. It's mentioned in Fallout 3. But the factions were never they weren't important. Again, they weren't important. You become the leader of the Minutemen like 10 minutes into the game. Great, thanks. Ooh, what am I supposed to do with this? Oh, hi, General. No, it's useless. And the Brotherhood of Steel, the whole quest line is useless as well. Because this isn't a spoiler. By the end of the game, you have to choose which faction to support. Brotherhood, Minutemen, Institute, and the fourth faction. And you can only choose one. You can't mix them. You can't mix Minutemen and the spoiler faction. You can't mix the Institute and something else. You can't mix the Brotherhood and the spoiler faction, or the Minutemen even, which I thought you could. Turns out you can't. That's what I did. I did the Minutemen and Brotherhood. But you can't mix it. Why can't you mix it? They both want the Institute destroyed. Because I thought, I could get the Brotherhood attacking and then the Minutemen attacking at the same time, and it'd be like kind of this epic pincer attack. But it wasn't. I'll tell you, the bad guy is a huge surprise. Again, not a spoiler. You will enjoy who the bad guy is. It's kind of like a what's going on moment. It's really cool, but again, it's kind of anticlimactic from there. The next thing I didn't like, I'll move on from that. Next thing I didn't like was just the companions. The companions are kind of useless stuff. Dogmeat, sorry everyone, Dogmeat is useless. He's useless. Sure, he finds a weapon or an item every now and then, but he charges into combat. He gets himself downed so constantly that, frankly, I stopped giving him stim packs at one point. I was just like, fuck it, Dogmeat, you fucking stupid thing. And none of the other companions are really useful. Sure, later you get one that is semi-useful, and sure, they can wear power armor, which is pretty cool. And they can hold a bunch of stuff, which is neat as well. Allowed me to double my my junk looting. But other than that, they have some interesting dialogue, I guess. And you can flirt with them, but that doesn't really do anything. There's no marriage system in this game like there is in Skyrim. So you're just kind of stuck with this person who's like, oh yeah, you're the love of my life. Oh, I love you so much. And you're like, oh, I love you too. But you can't kiss them, you can't hug them, can't get married to them. It's just kind of there. You're like, cool, I guess. So companions are alright, I guess. Weapons are cool, I guess. Weapon modding, as I was talking about before. But sorry, I'm wrapping up, I guess. Weapons were a little bit disappointing because by the end of the game, there's only about 2 weapons that are useful, and they're not what you think. It's the laser rifle and the combat shotgun. Those are the only 2 guns that are actually legitimately useful. I guess the third one would be this gun you get from a mission called Reba 2. I won't spoil the mission for you, but this gun does extra damage to Mirelurks and bugs. So if you're having trouble with Mirelurks, this gun will help you out pretty good. But other than that, the laser rifle and the combat shotgun are the only 2 really useful guns in the end of the game. Pretty much any laser or plasma weapon will get you through. I tried using the minigun on the final mission, and let me tell you, it took me. This is a fully modded minigun, by the way. And I play through the game first on easy. I know, I'm a bitch, whatever. But I get it so just I can enjoy the game at first, and then I play through it in hard difficulty. And on easy, final mission, this minigun, I had 2,000 rounds for it. And I literally wasted 500 rounds on one enemy. And it wasn't even a legendary enemy either. It was just a basic enemy. And I wasted 500 stupid rounds on this thing. And didn't even kill it. It had a little bit of HP left, and I was just screw it. I can 4-shot them with my laser rifle. So that's what I did. I switched my laser rifle and the rest of the mission I owned. But oh, come on, the minigun? That thing spits out bullets so quick. You'd think it would destroy it, but it doesn't. It does 15 damage per bullet. What? Whatever. Overall, though, we'll get to the final verdict here. Final verdict. So Fallout 4. I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's a solid game. I recommend you pick it up. Exploration is worth it. Missions are worth it. The game's alright. That's the bottom line. The game's alright. I know that will make some people pretty mad. Because they're like, oh, Fallout 4 is the best thing since sliced bread. No, it's just coming from a die-hard fan of video games, and of Fallout in particular, of Bethesda in general. Oblivion was one of the first PC games I ever played. I loved it. Still love it. Still play it. Got it for both the PC and the Xbox. So much I love it. But Fallout 4 is meh. That's pretty much what it comes down to. It's a solid game to add to your library. But I wouldn't wait in line for it. I didn't. But I wouldn't go out at midnight. So that's my final verdict. Fallout 4, 7 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you agree with me a little bit. If you didn't, please post down below what you didn't agree with, and why, if you could. And thanks, guys. I'll see you later.